It's Monday, which means it's time for the weekend box office report brought to you by our friends at AMC Theatres. Marvel does it again. The studio's debut of the Sorcerer Supreme Doctor Strange opened above expectations with $85 million and at number 1 at the weekend box office. It marks the 10th largest opening for a Marvel movie, finishing just behind the November record holder Thor: The Dark World. DreamWorks Animation's Trolls took the number 2 spot with $45.6 million. At number 3 was Mel Gibson's critically acclaimed Hacksaw Ridge, which earned $14.8 million. Boo! A Medea Halloween took the number 4 spot with $7.8 million. And at number 5, Inferno took in $6.3 million, dropping 58% in its second weekend with a domestic cume now at only $26 million. Mark, thoughts on Doctor Strange's box office this past weekend?
Well, my thoughts on the top 5, Ashley, are that Trolls did very well. I was impressed with Trolls. Hacksaw Ridge doing what you would expect. Oscar bait that might be a little tiny controversial to do. Boo! Surprised me as well because it's past Halloween, kids, and we still raked in almost $8 million on a smaller amount of screens. But obviously, Doctor Strange is the story, and not just what it did domestically, because I think most of us were predicting that it was going to be on the higher end of the box office analyst predictions. Like, it might be $85 million. That's exactly what it did. The international box office for this thing. I mean, I don't know what the appeal of Doctor Strange is to everybody around the world. Maybe it's just that Benedict Cumberbatch is that international gynecologist that we all knew he could be. So now Doctor Strange opening everywhere and crushing it. This opens up even more portals, if you will, for the MCU. I am shocked at how well it is doing.
Worldwide right now, it stands at $325 million. It's broken even. Basically, a first weekend done. Everything now from here on out is going to be gravy. Not surprised about this. I believe I called 85. They were expecting 75 to 85. I thought it would be on the high end of that. That's exactly what we got for a property that nobody knew anything about. For this thing to hit 85. Remember, I said this a couple weeks ago. This thing could hit $85 million. And if it does, there's going to be some people out there that says, well, why did it only make $85 million? Like, are we got our expectations so screwed up that there are actually going to be people out there today that goes, well, 85 million, that's kind of a failure. No, it is not, sir. This is a huge result for them. This is going to have good box office legs because the reviews are very solid. The fans are enjoying it. It's a great movie. I'm glad. I am disappointed with the results of Hacksaw Ridge. Because as of this moment, there's still a bunch of the Oscar contenders I haven't seen yet, okay? So that's to come. As of this moment, to me, Hacksaw Ridge is the best movie of 2016. I was absolutely floored by this. This is a masterpiece in filmmaking. Great acting, great direction. When the action does start, the action is wonderful too, but you walk out feeling powerfully moved when you see this film. I was hoping for better. I knew it would probably not crack 20, but I was hoping it would do better than it did. So those are the things that stand out to me. What about you, Kenny? Which stands out to you?
You walked out of Hacksaw Ridge moved. I walked out of Doctor Strange feeling like I just came back from Burning Man, which is a testament to what Marvel can kind of put out there now. Once you get a talking raccoon loved by the public, they can do anything now. This kind of proved it. And it is weird. This is what, the 10th biggest opening for Marvel, only the 10th at $85 million in November. This is, something that we're used to seeing in a blockbuster summer capacity. It's still a superhero movie. It's still got that big baddie at the end and you got to fight to save things, but it was definitely different. It had some spiritual undertones to it, some deeper things that I liked in it, and the fact that they can make this much money with that just shows that Marvel can probably do no wrong for the long time to come.
Jeremy, what stands out to you about the report?
Yeah, I remember when Thor was coming out, my friend and I were like, there is no way. I mean, you can do Iron Man, you can do the Incredible Hulk, but there's no way you can bring gods into it. And they did it, and it worked. And then they were like, Guardians of the Galaxy, and we were like, all right, so if there's a test for them, it's going to be this one. Because Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be a really hard one. These misfits coming together, it's going to be so different. If this fails, it might be the one that fails. It worked. And then it was like Doctor Strange. It was like, okay, here's how it is. If this doesn't work. And so now it's like, it's Pixar at this point. It's Pixar 2. It's like, all right, you guys are good. I have not yet seen the Marvel equivalent of Cars 2. I hope it doesn't happen. But it's one of these things where when Marvel's coming out with a movie, you can always reliably think that it's probably going to be good and it's going to do well and emulate everything you said on Hacksaw Ridge.